Howdy y'all.
Hi guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angela.
From ASKRNA Music.
That's right.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yes.
Your favorite mom and pop guitar shop and music lesson studio. You got a POD shirt on.
Oh, I do.
You do?
Yes.
I'm not wearing it.
I forgot to.
Yeah. I got a Wolverine shirt on. Wolverine! We talked about Wolverine last week.
Ooh.
I don't know. Is it a bug? The bug?
I think it was.
You saved me
I did.
from a bug.
Yes.
Episode 362
Woohoo.
of ASKRNA. We're almost to episode 365.
Yes, I gotta take out my glasses. There you go.
We're almost to episode 365, I think, of ASKRNA. Who knows?
Something like that.
Anyways, we're going to answer y'all's questions. People all over the world. What we do. Let's go right now. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Welcome back. It's good to see y'all. It's good to be here.
Mm-hmm.
We just had some chicken,
Yes.
so I'm all fired up. I got some chicken in my tum-tum.
Yeah.
You got some green beans in your tum-tum.
Yeah.
And we're going to answer questions. All right. Yeah, we have a little lesson shop, lesson studio, guitar shop. We teach music. We keep it alive for the next generation.
We do.
And we shoot YouTube videos. And one of those videos is answering questions.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we are today. So get ready to have your questions answered. Get ready to ask some questions for the next AskRNA video.
Hey.
Get ready to laugh and chuckle, be entertained.
Yes.
Or not. All right, first question. Just fun guitar. He's in England. Says KTMA, hashtag chachalaka. Or is it chakalaka?
I don't know.
Chachalaka?
Cha-cha-laka.
New
Chakalaka.
questions. One, what is the hardest to deal with? A newborn, child, or a teenager? Two, what is the furthest you can go on a bus in Texas? Excellent questions. Angela,
Yes.
you have children.
Yes, so do you.
We have children together.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the hardest to deal with, a newborn or a teenager?
Teenager, 100%.
Expound.
Well, a newborn, you can kind of just carry them with you. And if they're fussy, you know exactly what is wrong.
There's only a couple of
They're
things.
either gassy, they're hungry, or they're poopy. That's about it. With a teenager, it's mood swing city. So you get a lot of and talk back and walking off and not doing what you ask.
Do
and
you get
doing
a lot
things.
of that?
No, but it's just in general.
Oh, in general.
And you know,
Not
and,
us specifically.
No, but our boys do that. They have done that.
Right.
And whenever they were babies, it was just literally I just carry them around and they were just, easy. The crying part of it was a little tough, but our boy slept through the night. All those little things that people complain about with newborn babies, the lack of sleep. I have lack of sleep with my own children when it comes to like them not, if they're not home at a certain time, I'm up and I'm thinking, okay, are they okay? Are they in a ditch somewhere? Every siren that goes off when I know, they're driving around
That's
and
true.
doing something, I'm thinking, oh God, is this going to be it? Just little things like that. So I think you're more worried, or it might be balanced. I don't know. I think it might be 50-50.
I was wondering what you thought about this. I texted, pardon me, I had some Dr. Pepper Zero.
Yeah.
My friend Stephen and his wife Marla
Yeah, they just
had a baby recently. I
Yeah.
texted him
And
yesterday.
they have teenagers.
And he has a teenager.
A teenager.
Yeah.
And an almost teenager.
Steve's
My
44.
age. He's my age.
Marla's, how old's Marla?
She's a year younger, or 2 years younger.
42? So Steve and Marla we're kind of in the same age group. Over 40.
Yeah.
They just had a newborn. I texted him yesterday. I was like, hey,
How things
how's
go?
dad life? Newborn dad life. I was like, are you tired? He's like, tired all the time. He texted me back. I was like, how's the little dude? And he's like, hungry. He has to eat like every 2 hours. And I'm like, I'm trying not to eat every 2 hours.
Boys usually do.
Yeah.
Usually do. They eat quite a bit.
Yeah. So he's like,
You know.
how's Marla? She good? He's like, yeah, she's good. We're just tired all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes. See, that's what I remember from my early 20s is being tired all the time because I remember the no sleep.
Yeah.
Our boys slept pretty much But Nicholas would still wake up at least once in the middle of the night to eat.
Yeah.
And I would get up and go get him and bring him to you. And then you would feed him. And then I would take him back and put him in his crib.
Yeah. Or I'd just get up and go in there and sit in his room and fall asleep in the rocking chair.
So I remember the days of interrupted sleep. And that's the first thing I think of. Teenagers, I mean, I'm just thinking about our boys.
Right.
And, you do get teenagers have attitudes sometimes. They're sometimes trying to push the boundaries. But ours, it wasn't like that all the time. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tie.
Yeah, I think it's a tie. Because they're different challenges, but they're challenges nonetheless.
Yeah.
Because they're so, you don't have to worry about your newborn looking at things and being friends with people that you don't approve of. You have tabs on them for quite a while.
You are their world.
But then teenagers, especially after 14, 15, when they start hanging around their own people and they start doing their own thing and they have cars and stuff like that, it just turns into a whole nother aspect of worry. That is just a different way of worrying.
It's a different one.
So yeah, maybe 50-50.
I know our demographic, mostly our demographic. We do have like 20 to 30 year olds who watch this, but we do also have people who are our age, 40s and 50s and above, who watch ASKRNA. You guys and girls down below, tell us, what do you think? Newborn? Teenagers? Which one's easier?
Depends on your kid, I guess.
Which one's harder? Probably. All right. Okay, so that was part 1, Just Fun Guitar. Part 2, what is the furthest you can go on a bus in Texas? I tried to Google that because I never take buses.
How long will a Greyhound drive in Texas?
You couldn't find it.
Oh.
That was not, the longest school bus.
I haven't seen a Greyhound in a long time.
You could get a Greyhound from like Houston to Dallas. They only run like big buses like that, certain cities, which is not really that big of a deal. Dallas to Houston is like 4 hours, right?
It's farther than that.
Well, Canton to Houston is like 4, so maybe 5 hours. But I couldn't really find that answer easily. I did see there was it talked about high school buses. There was a school where it was 2 hours to get the buses, get the kids and get them to the class. It's like 2 hours.
That's crazy.
That's how far away kids were from the closest school. And it was like, that's crazy.
That is crazy. That's a long bus ride.
So I'm not really sure. I couldn't really find an answer to that.
Yeah.
I do know the longest distance to go from the border of Louisiana on I-10 to El Paso, crossing Texas horizontally is 12 hours.
The chest
of
Texas.
Yeah, across the chest. It's 12-hour drive. That's if you drove nonstop and didn't stop for gas or to pee or to get a drink or something like that. So it's really maybe 14 hours to get from the border of Louisiana to El Paso, which is...
That's halfway from here to Montana.
That's a ridiculous amount of distance. We drove, last time I drove, one of the times I drove to NAMM with my dad, we left Canton, which we're in East Texas. We're about 2 hours from the Louisiana border.
Yeah.
And we drove to California. I was like, dude, we're in Texas for 10 hours. Easily 10 hours, which would be about right. It took more time to cross Texas than it did to get from the border of Texas to Anaheim. So it's massive, but as far as if you got on a bus, a Greyhound bus or something, how far could you go?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was really...
I think you could probably pick one up from here and go to San Antonio, or I don't know if they'll take you to Laredo.
You probably have to change buses.
Yeah, you probably would have to. And I don't know how the border...
There's not even Greyhound buses drop off in Canton. You'd have to go to a bigger city.
You'd have to go to Dallas or something like that, which is an hour away. So.
I think, there's probably more bus transit in the Englandshire.
I would say probably 6 hours.
Probably. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Texas is freaking huge. It's the biggest place in the universe, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Just Fun Guitar. Next question, John Harpole. He's number 1. Hashtag KTMA, hashtag Chachalaka. If anyone hears you both discussing life, you will be remembered. Talking about being remembered last week. Have you watched The Rings of Power yet? If so, what do you think?
Come on, John. This is only supposed to be 30 minutes.
Well, you can say what you think in 30
I like
seconds.
it.
We have watched The Rings of Power.
I've watched worse shows. I've watched worse shows.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk is disgusting.
Horrible.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
I just read a spoiler about the season finale of She-Hulk, like today, and it came out yesterday. I'm like, spoilers, freaking. I mean, it was from like a news website, like on Facebook.
Right.
And they're like, bro.
But yeah, Rings of Power has been pretty good. I mean, I can overlook some of the wokeness of it.
It is fairly woke.
It's slightly woke. It's slightly woke because you have to think of who they're talking about, because it basically revolves around Galadriel for the most part. And Galadriel is, pardon me, a badass. She just is. She just is. I mean, we know this. Whenever she refuses the ring from Frodo, what she turns into, and she's just like, whoa, you know? I'm like, yeah, she's probably killed some stuff. She's seen some dark spots.
They did Elrond dirty, though.
I think he's going to come into it because he is very diplomatic in the rest of the show. Yeah, I mean, he goes to war, but...
I read a thing and they're talking about, like, he couldn't go to the meeting because only elf lords. And it's like, bro, do you even know who he is?
Yeah, now. Well, now in Lord of the Rings, but then not really.
It didn't matter because back then it was still about who your parents were and who... So he was like...
Well...
And I'm not even that nerdy. I just watched a TikTok of a guy breaking it down like, bro.
I'm just saying, for all the shows that have been out, of all the people that we've known and loved, this is not that bad.
It's no Andor.
Yes. Oh, dear God. Let's not go there. Couldn't even make it through first episode. But...
I made it through 3.
The grandioseness of it, the little side swipes, the little, the mentions of stuff from like the Silmarillion and everything, I think it was pretty awesome. So I think it's done pretty well. I mean, could they change quite a bit? Yeah, they could. And not be so vague. Yeah. Today's the season finale, I think.
Is it?
Or next week. Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's I
mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, it's my favorite show. It's not. I mean, I can do other things while I'm listening to it. It is not captivating.
Yeah. It's no Mandalorian. It's no Walking Dead.
First 3 seasons.
That's what I meant. Dead. Are there more? It's okay.
Yeah.
What do y'all think? You guys, have y'all watched The Rings of Power? What do you think? Be brutally honest without swearing.
Or be nice to each other.
I mean, yeah, be nice to each other. You can talk trash about Amazon. That's fine. Just be nice to each other.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for the question, John. Great question. Appreciate that one. Next question. Midnight Wind. Chachalaka. Hashtag. Hey there, you two. Ryan, what is your favorite distortion setup, including if you simply kiss the amp into breakup or do you beat it into subjection with a cranked pre-stage? I play mostly clean as a rule, but have an interest in your technique of choice. And for Angela, who wins? Neil Diamond, Lionel Richie, or Barry Manilow in a fight to the death? That wasn't the question, in a fight to the death, but I want to know that answer. All right.
Okay.
All right, couple of questions. Thank you, Midnight Wind. My distortion setup. Well, let me tell you about my distortion setup, because I like this question. I'm not real big on distortion pedals. I don't like a distortion pedal per se. I like to use the amplifier distortion. Most of my amps are 2 or 3 channel amps. Like I'll just use the Mesa Boogie and the Devil Cat, which is what I play on every day in lessons. The Mesa Boogie dual rec, just switch to the distortion channel.
Right.
And it's pretty distortion. Pretty much distortion. The Devil Cat is very much the same thing. Super, super clean on the cleany cleans. And then raging distortion on the distortion channel.
Right.
So I do like amplifier distortion, preamp kind of cranks. Not maxed out. And I think that's the thing I learned as a young kid. You just turn the gain to 10. And you're like, wow. And it's like, that actually sounds horrible. You know, less gain than you think you need, but it's definitely distortion. Now, for overdrives, I do have some pedals that I like for a nice overdrive sound. So on the clean channel, I have the Animal by whoever it's by. I forget the name of the company. I'll put it down there somewhere. But I also have my green carrot pedals, the Corn Star. Corn. They have, I also have a nice fuzz pedal, the pumpkin pie fuzz pedal. But I like my green carrot pedal. It's like a super overdrive. I like it a lot. Like it's super fantastic. So, but I don't usually on the amp. On my amps, I've got a really as clean as I can get it clean channel, and I've got the beefy distortion channel, and then I'll use pedals for a touch of overdrive or a bunch of overdrive short of distortion. So, there you go, sweet and simple. Angela, who wins? Neil Diamond, Lionel Richie, solo career, or Barry Manilow?
Ooh, golly, they all have similar voice sounds to them. You know, they all have that sound to them. I mean, think of it. Sweet, you know, hello, and I can't think of a Barry Manilow song.
I'm not a big Neil Diamond. Yeah.
My English teacher in high school, Mrs. Lowe, now Mrs. Collins, she loved Neil Diamond, like obsessively, grossly loved Neil Diamond. Never met a person in my whole life who loved Neil Diamond as much. So that's a killer for me. That's a deal breaker for me. I don't, and because of that, I've never liked Neil Diamond. Even though I liked her, but yeah, anyways, that's another story. I would have to probably go Lionel Richie.
Of course.
Yeah, because
he's the only brown guy.
No, I had this weird fascination. I don't know if y'all remember this this show that came and went in the 80s called Putting on the Hits. And it was a lip syncing show where people would come on like America's Got Talent and they would play songs.
It's like YouTube guitar players.
And they would act them out, okay? So there was this one guy that came on Putting on the Hits, and he did the Lionel Richie, Diana Ross. I think it was Lionel Richie and Diana Ross. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah,
My First Love. And he painted himself half Lionel Richie and half Diana Ross. And he would sit there going, my first love. And he would switch sides and sing. And that, I
remember that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was almost like a fever dream for me. I thought, did I make that up in my head? For the longest time.
Do you love me more now that I'm like, I remember that. I remember that. That was cool. See?
And so when I was a kid, and then Dancing on the Ceiling, of course, Hello. Hello was a little creepy for me. But I like.
Still is.
I didn't understand the energy of that song, of that music video, because I was so young. I didn't like her sculpting his face out of the clay. That creeped me out as a child, you know?
Yeah, we watched that the other day.
But even as a kid, I was like,
I don't remember that.
I don't like that.
I don't think I ever watched the video until the other day. We were watching it, like I know the song, but I never watched the video. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is uncomfortable.
So, but yes, I know Barry Manilow's songs.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, if you were like, sing me a Barry Manilow song, I would be like,
right.
So it would have to be Lionel Richie, because he made more of an impact in my childhood than any of those other men.
Who would I pick?
I think you would pick Lionel Richie also.
You are right, because he's brown. No, because he's the best. That's simply. He's simply the best. Now, in a fight to the death, like cage match style, Neil Diamond, Lionel Richie, or Barry Manilow?
Barry Manilow.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Something about him, and I think he has mob connections.
He was probably a Marine. He was probably in the Corps.
I can see
Semper
it. I don't know.
Fi,
Just about his facial expressions and the way he carries himself, I can see Barry Manilow taking care of business.
That is the more interesting question. Midnight Win, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, like what was that on MTV? It was like
I can see
celebrity.
I can see Lionel Richie going, "Hey guys, let's just calm down. Let's just think about this." And Neil Diamond's like, "What's going on? What's going on, Caroline?" You know.
I kind of think Lionel will pull out a switchblade.
I don't know.
I feel like he would carry a switchblade.
He wore loafers and like Miami Vice type outfits for the longest time.
Those guys carry switchblades.
He's no Tubbs.
You're probably right. Barry Manilow probably
If it was
would.
Tubbs, yes.
Barry Manilow. Barry wins the celebrity death match between those three.
I'm just saying.
Thank you for the question, Midnight Win. Appreciate it. You guys tell us down below. Who do you like more, Neil, Lionel, or Barry? Most names: Neil, Lionel, Barry.
Those kids you beat up on the playground.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Sorry, Barry. Next question. Leo go live. Angela, if the shoe was on the other foot and y'all had decided to start a business or career endeavor based on your dream or passion, what would it be? Ryan, I've been getting into reggae lately, and they have some great drummers like Carlton Barrett and Sly Dunbar. Do you know how to play the one-drop rhythm? Hashtag Chachalaka.
Oh, okay.
You first.
It's my turn.
Ladies first.
Of course.
Ladies night.
Probably something along the lines, because I've thought about this recently. I wanted to do this, but Ryan was like, you should do an online store because that'd be easier. It would be probably a craft store, some kind of craft place.
Angela's Craft Emporium.
Yes, there's a place.
Arnie Crafts.
There's a place that I liked in Tulsa, and they would you would come and craft. Now they call it those, sip and sit, those wine places where you can drink wine and paint parties. It was like that, but it had everything. You can do all kinds of crafts and stuff like that. But they also sold them, and then I would do probably something like that. Yeah.
Craft Emporium. Take over the world. What kind of crafts? People come and do crafts, or people come and buy craft supplies?
Both. It would be both. Because a lot of people want to do Pinterest type things, but they don't have someone to walk them through it, so it doesn't turn out that great. So be able to take Pinterest board ideas and actually create them and have a Pinterest board of the day, we're doing this today. Come in and do this one. Come in and do this, and we have all the supplies, but then they can also buy all their yarn, all their paints, all their canvases, all that stuff type things. Yeah, that's what I would have done.
All right. How about that? Ryan, I've been getting into reggae lately.
Like reggae.
They got great drummers. Do you know how to play the one-drop rhythm? Sure. Absolutely. We've actually, I'm not a big reggae fan. I don't have a bunch of reggae records.
Right.
We do teach a fair amount of Bob Marley's songs to beginners, because you can play Three Little Birds. It's basically a 3-chord song. Super simple to play along with, you know what I mean? Not exactly the same rhythm as everything, but a beginner can play an A chord and a D chord and an E chord and play along with it. So I don't know how many times I have heard Three Little Birds. And I don't really get tired of it, actually. I gotta say this. I think in my advanced age,
it has a good nostalgia to it.
I was telling someone the other day, because I grew up when I was a kid, learned to play guitar and drums. It was Metallica and Pantera and Megadeth and Guns N' Roses and Nirvana and grunge and all that stuff. Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. So I was definitely a rocker when it came to guitar stuff. Drums, obviously rock and metal stuff, but also Latin, jazz, funk. There's all kinds of I love David Garibaldi, Tower Power. He's still awesome. Latin drummer. So I've had to learn, in my career or scholastic career as a drummer, lots of different styles and grooves. A lot of Latin stuff, sambas, guanco, all these Latin world drum grooves, right?
Right.
So I was thinking back to it, let me listen to that. I'm oh yeah. It wouldn't be a problem to play that. I've never really had to play reggae stuff in bands anywhere. I have had to play some country stuff. I've had to play some Latin stuff. But yeah, it's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Right.
I'm just saying. But I do enjoy reggae stuff.
Awesome.
So does POD.
Yes, they do.
They've got some
Quite
reggae. Yeah.
Quite a few of their songs.
Yeah. That's right. All right. Thank you for the question, Leo. Appreciate it. Next question, Brian Strasser. Is Acacia restructuring, or are they in trouble? Isn't it funny that the most expensive thing is usually a free pet? The loudest animal anywhere in the USA is a Karen in a Subaru or an SUV. I almost asked you about DW drums. Question answered. Hashtag Chachalaka. Is Acacia restructuring, or are they in trouble? I think he means Acacia guitars, which we have had and carried and sold through Art of Music? No, they are not in any trouble or restructuring at all. Actually posted that. I sent that picture to one of my guys at Acacia. And I was like, hey, check out this question. And they were like, what? They're like, what's that? I'm like, I don't know. Other than like, maybe you don't see a lot of their posts, maybe. Like, you know, they're not currently making a bunch of YouTube videos or doing a lot of marketing with YouTubers or stuff. I do follow them on Instagram, and I mean, they don't put out a ton of stuff on Instagram, but fairly regularly they'll put something out. But that mostly has to do with how busy they are, right? Like they are crazy busy building guitars. So they don't actually do a ton of marketing because they don't really need to.
Right.
But they do, I will say this, they do actually, Acacia Guitars, Scott, they build guitars for other companies. And I asked them, I was like, am I allowed to say that? They're like, yeah, you can tell them. It's like, they do, they build Acacia guitars, but they also build guitars for other people. And so between building guitars for other people or other brands and building their own Acacias, and they are like crazy busy. So
there you go.
They are fine. No problems there. Oh yeah, and that was the question.
There you go.
They're good. They are good. They're real good.
Give them a follow.
They're real good. But I laughed about that. I'm like, yeah, we don't do a lot of marketing either locally because we're pretty much always full with students. Right. So if I put out some ads and marketing and stuff to like attract new businesses, it would be, you know, if you got 500 new orders, I'm like, we couldn't take 500 new customers in the teaching business because we don't have room for them.
Right.
I think it's kind of the same thing. They're as busy as they can handle. There you go. All right. Now it's time for comment of the day.
Yay.
I don't even have a guitar pick. What kind of person am I? I don't have a guitar pick, so it'll be finger style. Comment of the day. Angela's gonna sing you a song. I'm gonna write you some music. Music. I'm gonna play something on guitar off the top of my cranium.
Is it raining in your cranium?
It's raining in my cranium. Angela's gonna sing something. You guys write the lyrics, we write the song. So here we go.
Can't sing to that. I was like, you gotta be more steady. There you go. The old gold line exclamation point. Jason Statham should have been Wolverine. Hashtag chakalaka, touch-a-laka. I don't know how to even say it.
Cha-cha-laka.
Hashtag chakalaka. Yeah. There you go. Ta-da. Yeah, Jason Statham.
He doesn't have enough hair to be Wolverine.
They could have put a wig on him.
Who was it? We just watched a Jason Statham movie. Already, The Meg. Is that right? That's Jason. The Meg. I just now watched The Meg. I don't know what to think about that.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You fell asleep.
Yeah, I did.
I had to watch all the death and destruction.
It wasn't that bad at the end.
Everyone
died.
I
watched it too.
Everyone died.
Because they came by and picked up the dog at the end.
Yeah. The dog's the only one that lived, so.
Yeah.
Who are they? There was speculation about the next Wolverine, although Hugh Jackman is probably going to be the next Wolverine. Forever. Was it Tom Hardy? Somebody said Tom Hardy.
That'd be weird.
That's right, yeah, because he's Venom. So it's like you can't be. Right. That wouldn't work.
Mm-mm.
They're talking about like physique and the attitude and the thing. And like,
no. He's already a Marvel character. He can't do that.
Yeah, that would be awkward. Like,
It was just like Ryan Reynolds crossing over to...
Yeah, Green Lantern became Deadpool.
Or even Chris Evans, he crossed over too.
He did he cross over?
Well, no,
he went from Marvel to Marvel.
Well, he crossed over groups.
Sony? Who put out Fantastic Four? What's that?
I think it was Sony.
Studios. He changed studios, but not comic universes.
Yes, but it's still weird.
There was somebody that was like, that guy'd be a good Wolverine. I'm trying to I can't remember who it was. All right, anyways.
I don't know anybody new to... I don't watch anything new.
What's the last good action movie you watched? That was just like, oh, that was awesome.
John Wick.
John Wick. Keanu Reeves should be Wolverine. Mm-hmm. He's too old.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I can't wait for the next John Wick. John Wick 4.
I know. John Wick 4 is coming out.
He said, I think he said in an interview, he's going to keep making them as long as fans want him to make them. I'm like, yes.
He's going to break his body.
John Wick with a cane.
Yeah.
87-year-old murdering everyone.
Look at Chuck Norris. I mean, Chuck Norris is actual martial artist, but...
Yeah. Chuck Norris should be Wolverine.
He actually would make sense.
That makes sense.
He's hairy.
He's old. He's too old.
How old is he? Like 78?
He's like 89.
No,
he's like 107. Chuck Norris is 107. You just think he's 80.
No, he was born in... What he said is... The joke is like he was born in 46 or something like that. So I think he's the same age as Dad.
Yeah.
Or your mom.
All right. Thank you guys. Comment of the day song. Appreciate it. Final question. Here we go. Thank God. Fat Philosopher. Hashtag Chachalaka. Hashtag Texas mother-in-law. Ryan, I just ordered my second locking trim guitar, an Ibanez S470, to go with my Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredder. That is Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredder. It's the best name ever. Which would you prefer, Floyd versus Edge Zero, Ibanez versus Schecter? Oh man, great question, Fat Philosopher, all the way from Japan. Worldwide audience, I'm so excited. You guys are fantastic. Schecter or Ibanez? Schecter. Easily. I'm easily more of a Schecter fan than an Ibanez fan.
Of course.
However,
dum, dum, dum.
Very first guitar I ever owned with a Floyd Rose was an Ibanez. How about that?
It's amazing.
It's amazing. I traded in my made in Japan Takamine electric guitar like a moron when I was like 17 or 18 to Guitar Center because it wasn't cool. At the time I didn't know any better. And I wanted something shreddy, like a super shredder, like a Floyd, and went, you know. And I got an Ibanez, I don't remember what it was. But, you know, there was no YouTube or internet back then. And first thing I did was change string gauges when I got home and it jacked the Floyd all up. And I had no idea. It didn't come with instructions. Like, how in the world do I fix this? So it took me a couple of days to reset the trim.
Yeah.
So I could actually just play the stinking guitar. And then about 28 days later, the output jack kind of got jacked up and shorted out. I was like, oh my God. Like I was so frustrated with that guitar. I was like, you know what? Guitar Center back then had a 30-day exchange return policy. So I took it back. Let me get rid of this thing. And I got me an Epiphone Les Paul.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you don't have to worry about trims. So.
Makes sense.
The thing there's nothing wrong with the Ibanez guitars. They make fantastic guitars. The thing that I don't really dig is, you know, how thin the necks are. Because Ibanez has like some of the thinnest paper thin guitar necks like in the business.
Yeah.
And I have played enough of those where I'm like, I don't really like that crazy thin neck.
Right.
So that's the turn off for me with Ibanez is the crazy thin necks.
Yeah. Of course.
Basically. As far as the Edge Zero or the Floyd, you know, they're both great. You know, I haven't heard anything bad about the Edge Zero. Zero, that's hard to say.
It is.
The Floyd Roses, unless you get sort of the decent ones like the 1500 series or the 1000 series up and up, the cheaper Floyd Roses are not great because the knife edges wear out and the metal they use to make the budget cheap ones is not fantastic. But you know, once you get up to like that, you know, $700, $800, $100,000, $1,200, $1,500 price range with a guitar with the Floyd. The Floyds are pretty good if you set up on. So, but I'm gonna go with Schecter simply because I like Schecter more. I've got several Schecters, and I have not ever played an Ibanez that I fell in love with. My friend Art has got several Ibanezes. Ibanez?
No.
We talked about that 1,000 years ago. Ibanezes? Ibanez?
Yep. Ibanez is a person's name.
It's a plural for Ibanez, I forget. Anyways, Art has got some nice. He's got a nice like made in Japan Ibanez. He's got some really schwanky Indonesian one. They're nice, but just never appealed to me really. So Schecter for the win for me. That's all that matters. If you like Ibanez more, get you one. That was it. Final question.
Awesome.
Which one do you like more, Schecter or Ibanez?
Kala.
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 She prefers Kalas to either one of those.
So pretty.
And out of tune. I should tune it.
Extremely out of tune. Super nylon gut.
All right, and that was the final question. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and listening to us yammer on about all kinds of amazing things.
All the things.
If you have a question for next week, please type it down below in the comment section of this video, and we will try our best to answer those questions in the next episode of AskRNA, which will be 363.
Ooh.
Yeah, and now it's time for super secret hashtag of the day. Comment secret hashtag of the day. If you watch this entire video, which is like 45,000 minutes long, from beginning to end, you are a super legend if you made it this far. Because most people crap out about halfway through.
Yeah, usually.
Or a quarter of the way. They don't even make it because they can't handle. They can't handle it.
They can't handle the truth.
They can't handle the truth. But you guys and girls who are still here, you're an elite group of legendary people.
Yeah.
And we signify that with the secret hashtag of the day, which is, do you have an idea?
No.
Hashtag Kala. Hashtag Kala. Kala back. Ain't no Kala back, girl. Hashtag Kala. We'll know you watched this entire video from beginning to end. Drove up our runtime, which YouTube loves. Just let it play. The more runtime, the better. YouTube thinks we're good.
Something like that.
There's a lot of minutes of viewing.
Yeah.
YouTube's like, hey, look at these little folks in Texas. We should push them to international fame. Yeah, we should give them a gazillion views so they can buy groceries.
Yeah.
And chicken. All right, thank you guys so much. Ask a question for next week. Type in hashtag Kala with your question or comment below, and we will know that you are a legend, and everyone else who's a legend will also know who the other legends are. That's the point of that. All the legends can congregate together in the comment section. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
Music needs you.
You need the music.
And we need to keep it alive. That was
horrible.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. That's what I said. For the next generation.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Subscribe, thumbs up, buy a t-shirt, link in the description.
All the things.
Give us your money.
Ring that bell.
Ring a ding 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 dong.
Ring a ding.
Subscribe. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. I was like, girl, she's doing that by ear. We're about to get to that note. Look at her. That's a legend. Super legend.
It needs to go high.
Snap it. I did that the other day.
You snapped one of these?
No, I snapped the baritone.
That's not too bad.